Yes, first of all, big game for us this past weekend here versus Troy, one of the better teams in our league. Thought our defense really played very solidly. Offensively played well in the first half, didn't do much in the second half, but had enough there to get the win. That was a big win for us. We obviously knew what was on the line, an opportunity to play for a Sun Belt championship, and also to be able to host that game. And it was senior day for us, and we don't not very many seniors, but proud of the seniors and what that class has been able to accomplish in this transition for us over the last 4 years. And, to be able to play 3 straight bowls, this will be our 4th bowl in a row for this senior class. It's, one of the winningest senior classes that's been here. So really proud of all those guys. And now this week, very excited to play the first Sun Belt championship game and to be able to have it right here in Boone in front of our fans is going to be exciting. 12 o'clock kick on ESPN. Just a lot of really neat things that's happening this weekend here, for our university to be able to showcase our school and our program, and we're excited about that. And we know we're playing a Lafayette team. It's kind of unique because we've played them already once this year. A team that I think is, from last year this year, what an incredible improvement that Coach Napier's and his staff's been able to do. And they started out 1-3 this year, and now they've just been on a roll. The last half of the season, and very explosive offense, defense, very aggressive and solid defense. I mean, they're a good football team, and we're going to have a great week this week preparation in order to try to play well against these guys.
Thank you very much, Coach. Our first questions come from Ethan Joyce. Ethan, please go ahead. I'm sorry, I think Ethan dropped out of the queue there for some reason. Let's go to Steve Baer with the Watauga Democrat. Please go ahead, Steve.
Thank you. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Can you just kind of talk a little bit about Louisiana, what you expect from them, maybe some of the things that they like to do, particularly offensively, just kind of the skinny on, and also the fact that you played them once.
Yeah.
Does that help either one of you more than the other, you think, or?
Well, I don't know as far as playing them. Yeah, well, playing them again. We played them like 6 weeks ago, so really, two teams that after 6 weeks you change a little bit. People get some dings here and there with injuries and that type of thing. But I think when we played them, it was in the middle of the season. I mean, it's kind of settled in on who they are as a football team. We had two, and then now here at the end, it's very similar. And so you just kind of grow as a team. But you are what you are at this point in time. And I think it still comes down to fundamentals. It comes down to blocking and tackling and who makes the least amount of mistakes, and that'll be the one that wins the game. This team right here, they're very, very explosive offensively. I mean, they have 3 running backs that are probably all conference caliber running backs, all 3 of them. They play 2 different quarterbacks that are capable runners and can throw the football. And they have some skill out wide at receiver. And then offensive line-wise, they're probably one of the better offensive lines that we've faced in the conference. They very solid up front. So they're one of the best offenses in this league. You have to play great on defense if you want to try to even slow them down. They scored against Mississippi State 10 points and Alabama 14. We know how good their defenses are. So we got our work cut out for us defensively. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it looks like to me they've gotten a lot better. They're aggressive on defense. They'll play man. They'll blitz. They'll do a lot of different things, and they're just an aggressive style defense. So they have skill, man. They have some good players as far as guys that can run. They're strong. Very solid football team.
Well, speaking of defense, yours has been pretty good lately. What do you think some of the secrets are, without giving away too much?
But, defensively, we've played a very good year. I mean, we're top of the conference in about every category defensively, and really one of the top in the country defenses. When you look at the stats, and I just think overall our coaching staff's done a great job of zeroing in on the opponent for that week, and then our players, they really understand our defense, and our defense is you have to fit it right in order to be a good defense, and everybody has to do their job and not try to do somebody else's job, and they've been really good at that. The big thing we can do is run. We're not very big, but we can really run. And so if you do make a mistake, get out of your gap. Our guys are fast enough to get back where they need to be. So I think it comes down to really execution and then the skill that we have out there, the guys that can run.
Yeah, I don't remember your size really being an issue. Is there? You mentioned speed, but still, I mean, leaning up against 300-pounders all day, that's got to be difficult. How have you guys managed to be able to do that?
Well, up front, we rotate a lot of defensive linemen. Michael Stout's our starting nose, and but then we rotate and you bring maybe two other guys in there to play nose as well. We'll play up to 9 to 10 guys in the defensive front, and so when you're doing that, you're rotating those guys. They're staying fresh, they're staying healthy, and then it enables our 4 linebackers, who I think are really all 4 of them are all conference worthy linebackers, and probably lead our team in tackles and stats are the 4 linebackers. And so, but our starts are our D-line. Our D-line frees those guys up to go make plays, and and that's how we've been able to do it.
Offensively, you've also been pretty efficient, especially when you got Zach back. Just if you would talk any secrets to your success there, because it looks like you can run it and throw it.
Yeah, well, it all starts with the running game. When we lost Jalen at the Ark State game, that was a tough blow for us, because I feel like he's a player of the year type player, and he has been. And you lose him, and I think Darrington and Marcus Williams Jr. come in and done a great job at running back. And then Zach, with his legs, being able to run the football, that it starts there. And then we have some dynamic receivers on the outside, with Corey and Hennigan and Virgil and some of those guys out wide are enabling us to throw the football down the field too. So we feel like we want to be a balanced offense, and to be able to, they stop one thing, we can go to the next. And so we've been able to do that. I think, we've been very efficient offensively. And, the 2 games Zach was out, we didn't do as well offensively, but, since he's been back and been healthy, we've been very solid on offense.
You mentioned Corey. We kind of, after one of the games recently, we just kind of talked with him and Zach about how they didn't sit on their hands when they didn't play last year. Just kind of talk about what they went through together, kind of learning each other's quirks and timing and all that stuff. They didn't exactly just take the time off to relax.
Yeah. Well, last year when Taylor Lamb was starting quarterback, I think, but Zach knew that he had an opportunity to be the guy the next year, and so he worked hard. He'd stay after practice. Corey would as well. Corey couldn't play because he was sitting out, after transferring, and so they just worked well together. And I think, the bottom line is Corey's a hard worker, and he's made himself into a really good player, and Zach has as well. Zach's come a long ways over the last 2 years. His accuracy, his arm strength, and then you add that with his running ability, it just puts a lot of pressure on defenses. And, he's done a good job of getting Corey the ball, and Corey's had, made the most of it with 8 touchdowns this year.
Have you noticed teams trying to take away Sutton with double coverage or trying to prevent him from going deep?
I don't think that's necessarily trying to do that. I think, they're aware of where he's at. You still got to defend the whole field, and that's what we want to be offensively. So they can't do that. So they have to defend the whole field. So, we're going to take what they give us, but there hadn't been a whole lot of that.
Well, you're here. Just kind of talk about that. You made it 4 years ago. It was a little kind of a rough season, but you managed to come back. Any secret to your success?
I just think consistency. We've tried to have a program here where we work hard, we develop players, and we just continue to get better every day. We've been consistent with that, and and I think that's why we've been able to stay towards the top of the Sun Belt and have another opportunity to try to win this thing.
Well, that's all I have for now, Coach. I appreciate it.
All right.
I appreciate your patience.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Steve. Our next questions come from Ethan Joyce. Please go ahead, Ethan. Oh, sorry about that. Could the operator please open up the line of Ethan Joyce, please? I think he might be having some problems there with his line, and allow him to ask some questions, please.
Can you guys hear me?
Ethan, are you there?
Yeah.
Please go ahead, Ethan.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Scott, I know you know this is coming, but just did you or any of your representation get any contact from UNC about their vacancy?
No, I hadn't heard anything from them.
And, there were a lot of people that pointed at you as an obvious choice for that job. And I just wanted to know, what does it feel like for you that people look at your body of work and what you've been able to do at App State and they come to that conclusion?
Well, as I've said many times, I think when you have a program that's consistently winning football games and doing it the right way, then you're going to have, people talk about you in a positive manner. And, for us, that's all we've tried to do is put a consistent product out there, to try to win football games. We've been able to do that for the last 4 years. And, like I've always stated, I'd rather be in these conversations than the other ones. And, particularly this time of the year, because there's a lot of bad things that are happening for some of these coaches throughout the country, and but we just want to consistently just have a product out there that everybody can be proud of, that we're competing for championships, and for now, we just won the last two, and now we got a third one right here, and so that's all our focus is on trying to win this Sun Belt championship again.
The reports say it's going to be Mac Brown, and I know he's a guy that's really been kind of back around App State athletics again these last couple of years. What's it going to be like if it is him standing on the other sideline for that UNC game next year?
For me, it's just another opponent. I mean, really, I just met Coach Brown this past summer when he spoke at one of our big fundraisers, and nice guy, but whoever we play, on this field, we're obviously, or any other field, we're going to try to do the best we can to go win, and it doesn't matter. It's just like this year I play Sean Elliott, one of my good buddies. And, it's just you once you get on the field, you're just trying to win football games.
And, it kind of set up like it was going to be a potential for distraction for you. Are you kind of happy that can be avoided now and really focus in on this title game coming up?
Well, I don't worry about that. I really don't worry about any of that innuendos, rumors, and all that stuff. And I think fans and media and all that, they get enamored with that, with all that kind of thing, the talk. If I worried about all the talk, I'd be distracted 3 years ago, 4 years ago when we were doing well too. So, we just get to do a good job here of staying in the moment, trying to do the best job we can do, and go win a football game. And I'm looking forward to the prep this week, and that we've already begun on that, and to try to go beat Louisiana.
Yeah, I talked with Doug after the game about App just trying to get ready to host this title game. What has it been like for you just in this early part of the week, seeing the athletics department kind of getting itself together to host this thing?
Well, our athletic department, they do a great job of really doing all the things that has to be done in order to host a game. So it is kind of unique in the fact that it's the first one in the Sun Belt Championship game, and we're the host team, so the Sun Belt kind of takes over. It's really their game. We just happen to be playing it here in Boone, and so we're excited about that. So there'll be some things that are a little bit different with that. But the great thing about it is, we're playing on ESPN at 12 noon on Saturday, and we're getting to showcase our university, our school, in front of a national audience, playing for a championship. We had a great crowd last week here on Thanksgiving weekend, and I expect this one to even be better. So we're excited about playing in front of our home people. This is going to be an awesome atmosphere, and this is kind of what I think our conference envisioned, when we proposed doing this, a year ago.
And last one for me, we talked about Vic after the game, but how's he looking at the start of this week?
Well, we hadn't practiced really. We'll go back out tomorrow and practice. We'll see where he's at. Lower leg injury, so we'll see kind of where he says he's playing and all that. So we'll see. We'll just take it day by day, just like we do with all our guys that are getting dinged up. A game like this, you're going to do everything you can to get out there, and all our guys will. And I think he's probably the biggest question mark out of everybody. I think everybody else will be fine, and we'll see where he's at. We'll take it day by day.
All right, thanks, Scott. Sorry for all the phone troubles.
Yep, thanks.
It's all right, Ethan. No problem at all. Thank you very much. Our next questions come from David Scott with the Charlotte Observer. Please go ahead, David.
Morning, Scott. This is following up a little bit on one of Ethan's questions, but how important is it for your program and Boone to be able to have a game like this again? Back, in the 1AA days, you were playing meaningful, playoff games every year. Now you have another kind of championship game that means something. How important is it for the community and the school?
Well, it's huge. It's huge for our program. You know, we're a program that we like to do a lot of first, and we've been able to do that in the last 4 years. When you look at, you know, making that transition and going to our first bowl game, and then 2 years ago, you know, winning the conference in the Sun Belt, and then, you know, and then now the first year that you're able to have an outright champion, we're able to host the game. And so that's just a credit to our players and our staff to be able to have the kind of season that we've had this year. And we're excited to showcase our school here this weekend. And, you know, games like this is what our guys play for. That's why they're here. That's why they signed to come to Appalachian State to play for championships. And so that just validates their decision. And so we're excited about hosting this game to really showcase our whole university.
I know your careers didn't quite overlap, you and Billy, but do you know him at all, and kind of what's the relationship you have from the old Southern Conference days?
Well, I was coaching here at App when he was playing.
Right.
So, you know, I knew him just as a player. He's a really good player for them at Furman. And, you know, and then we hadn't crossed paths really in the coaching profession, but I knew obviously who he was just because of his days at Furman. You know, and I've met him over the last year, you know, since he's been in this conference and talked with him. And he's done a great job with that program of kind of turning it around, you know, last year. And now they're sitting here playing in the conference championship game. So obviously, you know, him and his staff, they've done a great job.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you very much. Our next questions come from Dan McDonald with The Advocate. Could our operator please open up Dan's line? And Dan, please go ahead.
Morning, Coach, and sorry for all the phone issues. A couple of questions. First, in the earlier game you played with Louisiana, kind of on a scale 1 to 10, I don't know, something like that, how close do you think your guys played to playing, you know, at your capability?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that was 6 weeks ago. It's kind of hard to really remember back. I mean, we watched the film. You know, I think we played solid. You know, it was a good win for us. We knew what kind of team they were coming in here. Very dynamic offensively. Defensively, they get after it and they're aggressive. You know, we ended up, what was it, a 10-point game, you know, last time we played. But, I think they've got talent. They've had talent. I think they've done a good job of putting players in positions to make plays on their staff. And, you know, and they believe and they got confidence, you know. And so you look at it from the middle of the season back then, I think they were 3-3 when they came in here. And so, but now, you know, the confidence that they'll have even more confidence coming in here playing for a conference championship, knowing what kind of season they put together. So, you know, I think we probably played very solid when we played them before, and we're happy to get that win.
I don't know how much you've had a chance to look at them, but is there a couple of things that jump out at you that make them different than that team that came up there 6 weeks ago?
I don't think so. There's not anything different. I just think they're, you know, what they have offensively with the three running backs. I mean, they're all three of them very capable of being all-conference type running backs, and then 2 quarterbacks as well. So I think offensively they keep pressure on teams, and they're scoring a lot of points. And then defensively, they've done enough, you know, to keep guys out of the end zone and create turnovers. And so I think they're really very similar. I mean, just like they were 6 weeks ago, I think we are too. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of difference in either team. You know, we're glad we're playing here so we don't have to travel. You know, what's unique is this is their third trip really in a calendar year to come play us, because we played them at the end of the last season in the regular season last year. And now, you know, this is their third time. So that's unique, I think. But we're just glad we're hosting the game here.
You talked about scoring a lot of points, and you talked about Zach Thomas earlier just a little bit. What are sort of the intangibles that make him the guy for you that's had all the success he's had?
Well, I think it just starts with his competitiveness. You know, he tries to get every yard he can get. He's inside, you know, just really competitive. And I love that about him. He's got a talented arm. He can make all the throws. But he also has really good legs. I mean, so he gets out of trouble with his legs. He's able to get first downs. He's even had some big touchdown runs, over 50-yard runs. So that keeps pressure on the defense as well. And he's done a good job distributing the football. I mean, most games we get 9 or 10 different guys involved catching the ball. And, you know, and then right now toward the end of the season, I think once he went out with his injury and he came back, I think he settled down even more and just really has better command of our offense, and I think he's playing at a high level right now.